Okay, we're going to try that again, ladies and gentlemen. The LOA scope has started, and first in the room is KM Latta. And KM Latta is also known as Kim Latta. Hi, Kim. Reading specialist, author of Exceeding Reading Romper Readers. Romper Readers? I don't know what that means. Nina, I got to get a cheat sheet here. Winkler02 is joined. So hey, so I started this on time at Infinito Spirito. Am I saying that right? Mick, tonight, boy, I don't have my, do I? Wait, I don't have my glasses. Anyway, yes, well good, here we all are together again. Guys, I had to stop the broadcast in the middle of a sentence because of a call I got that was so extraordinary. There's no letting it go to voicemail. There's no delaying. I had to do it right then, and I appreciate your understanding. And what's amazing about it is because we're talking about what we're going to talk about today is gratitude, and I couldn't have been more grateful for anything on the planet than getting that call. And it was from my son, my 15-year-old son. And So thank you for your indulgence and your understanding, even though I just kind of said bye right in the middle of everything. There was no graceful way to get off the call. And so if you're willing to invite followers again and let's get this party started again, that would be great. But I will go ahead and just get into it because I already did sort of my introduction and all that stuff last time. But I will do a reminder for those of you who are new who didn't join me in the first one. This is the LOA Scope, 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. I pick a topic related to the law of attraction or creating your life by design, and we discuss it a bit. And gratitude is one that, of course, people talk about all the time, and for good reason. But people do talk about it a lot, but the question is really, and this is something to ask yourself, and I am totally guilty of this. We all talk about the importance of gratitude, and yet how often do we forget? How often do we let the circumstances of the day take over our brain, and we suddenly just, gratitude for things is like the furthest thing from our mind? Can anybody relate? Yeah, we can talk gratitude. It's really easy to talk gratitude. But it seems like getting into the habit, the natural habit, not like forcing yourself to write a gratitude list every day or something like that, but just being a grateful person, it's pretty rare. You know, even for people who teach it and know it, I think it's just because that's how our bodies and our brains are sometimes wired, you know, because we can be in a really wonderful state and grateful for things like I was just now when I got that phone call. And then I might get another phone call, which just, irritates me or whatever. And our brain just shifts all of our attention to that. And it's hard to stay connected to the gratitude over here. We get into problem solving mode or whatever it is. I mean, again, it's just kind of a habitual thing. You know, for a lot of people, feeling gratitude is kind of a new thing. You know, they've gone their whole lives without taking time to feel gratitude because they didn't really understand the benefits of it. You know, and if you're learning about really, gratitude moves you to tears. Well, that's amazing. That's great, right? I mean, you want the emotional response of gratitude. That's really the whole point from a law of attraction point of view. But as I was saying, you start learning about the law of attraction, you start learning about the power of gratitude, and you say, okay, well, I'm going to start being grateful for things. But then you find out that is a tricky habit to get into because we do have a very habituated way of interpreting things, complaining about things, thinking the worst of things, and if the right things, and I say right things, but if certain things happen, you can become completely blind to everything except that problem or that issue. And in fact, to the extent, now here's I'm going to tell on myself here. You know, when I get into a situation where I'm clearly not feeling grateful for things, I'm stressed about something or whatever it is. Maybe you guys can relate. Have you ever had somebody at that point come up to you and say, tell me 3 things you're grateful for? Now, for me, when I'm in that state and somebody comes up and says, give me 3 things you're grateful for, what is my response? Do you think my response is, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for Cody. No. I go, ugh. Right? Anybody else like that? I could be. Yeah, you feel annoyed, right? Because somebody's trying to change your state and you're not ready. That I'd love to think that was true. Is that true? Did your dog just give me a heart? Because if that's true, we have to celebrate by having the dogs say hi to each other. Cody's in his harness for his walk, which will ensue after. Hi, Lynn. I was just kind of talking about you. Were you here for that? Yeah, I was just talking about how when people try to tell you, her name is Brody and Cody, get out of here. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm just that type where, yeah, it's because we don't feel validated for how we're feeling in the moment. That's actually very true. It's like, let me have this experience. Yeah, who does that? Oh, okay. I'm sorry I missed that. I was in talk to the screen mode rather than read the comments mode. I miss my chihuahuas. My chihuahua. Yeah, I miss my chihuahua in Atlanta. But Cody is awesome. And we think there's some chihuahua in there. We think he actually ate a chihuahua. I'm kidding. He gave me a look like, I didn't eat a chihuahua. Don't tell them that. Yeah, so it can be tricky to be pushed into wanting to feel gratitude, but I think what I want to call attention to is we all know the benefits of feeling gratitude, right? Just from a law of attraction. I mean, I've said this so many times that I feel like everybody just knows it, but I'll say it anyway. Obviously, if from a law of attraction point of view, if you generate a grateful feeling, a true emotion of gratitude, then your vibration is communicating to the universe gratitude. I'm grateful for this. Like, I like this and it feels good. I like this. I have this and it feels good. That's kind of what gratitude is saying to the universe. And so the universe matches that. And so you then, I will address that, Lynn. So the universe tries to match that and bring you more things to be grateful for. And that's why I've always said it's kind of the secret weapon of the whole law of attraction thing. If you can just truly live in a state of gratitude for most of your day, your life is going to be amazing because of the things that you're going to attract. Because you'll just be grateful for this and grateful for that. And if you're just finding a few minutes a day to feel grateful for things, or when somebody tells you to feel grateful for things, it's really not enough to shift your overall vibration where you become an effortless manifester. So what I'm saying is that there are the benefits that are obvious of feeling gratitude. Obviously, it just feels good. And then from a law of attraction point of view, you're opening yourself up to attract amazing things that you'll be grateful for, and just exponentially. So we know the benefits, but I don't think what we've really considered is the costs of not feeling gratitude, of not taking that time. I mean, the real true costs. So if you're not feeling gratitude, what are you feeling? Okay, I just want you to think about that for a sec. If you're just going through your day and you're not feeling grateful for the moment of being alive, the room you're in, the temperature, just whatever, just gratitude. If you're not feeling gratitude, then what are you feeling? It could be resentment. It's not necessarily resentment, but it could be that. It could be, yes, nothingness, stuck, disconnected. It's so if that's what you're feeling, if those are the things that you're feeling on an ongoing basis, then what are you telling the universe about your experience of reality? What are you saying to the universe about what is sadness, loss? Wow, these are a little more intense than I anticipated. I mean, because I can walk around the course of the day and not necessarily feel sad or a feeling of loss or anything if I'm not feeling grateful for something, but I'm not really feeling anything. I'm not really in an attractive state. I'm totally on autopilot. So things just stay the way they are. Right? They just stay how they are. And then you wonder, why aren't things moving? Right. Feeling nothing, you attract nothing. Now, we all have a consistent and predominant autopilot vibration that happens whether or not we are consciously thinking of something or not. Whether we are intentionally trying to shift our emotional state or not, we're always putting out some sort of vibration. And that's just what holds our universe in order. Our experience of reality in order is this fact that we do have a persistent and consistent vibration which says, well, this is the baseline. This is baseline reality. Now, if I feel a little bit better, I'm going to get a little bit better stuff. And if I feel, a lower negative vibration, things are going to occur a little bit worse for me. But then there's just this sort of default. So if you're not feeling gratitude or happiness or love or any of those, higher vibration things, then we're not conscious of what we are feeling. or are experiencing or are communicating out there. But just because we don't acknowledge it or know it doesn't mean it's not creating our experience of reality. It absolutely is. So I historically, as a teenager, young person, I learned to think negatively. I learned to expect the worst in just about every situation before I could allow the possibility that something might actually turn out. And I think that was just a learned behavior. I think I use my mom as an example, and I've started to feel like maybe I'm being unfair. Maybe my memory of this is a little bit distorted, and maybe she wasn't as automatically go to negative as I remember. But that is sort of where I remember learning it, kind of a skepticism about things. And it's in the name of being responsible and, not getting your hopes up too high or getting disappointed. It was easier to go negative because it's who was saying this yesterday? It's easier to feel negative for a lot of people. And therefore, that's your way of being, and you attract and as a result, you attract all the evidence that you need to say, yep, see, I was right. See, I was right. See, I was right. And growing up, of course, I had no idea about the law of attraction. I didn't know that I was actually attracting the evidence I needed to convince myself that it's responsible and good to think negatively first. So years and years and years, doom and gloom attitude. Okay, that's a whole other question, Bright Panura. I will talk about that if I can remember. I tell my story a million different places all over the place. Actually, if you go to boundlessliving.com, and I think there's the About Me page, and then if you scroll down to the bottom of that, there's a whole little video that tells my whole story. And much more completely than I could do here. So you could try that. That's boundlessliving.com. Yes, absolutely. That is it. Will to wow. Our ego wants to be right at the expense of our growth. It's all about being right. See, I told you. See, I told you. See, I told you. And what they don't, and they've got this idea, and I'm telling on myself because this was my experience. You expect the worst. You're vibrating the worst. It happens. You're attracting it. You're moving yourself into alignment with it. But our perception is the universe is doing it to us, and then so we're on the defensive, and see, nothing works for me. Nothing works for me. Nothing works for me. How do you stay grateful when you're surrounded by negativity? Okay, great question. So let's just bring that around because thank you for posting the link. And so if you go to the About Bob or whatever it is, something like that, at the bottom there's a video that says how did they do that or whatever, and it's me telling my story. Yes, so when you are surrounded by negative or a negative thing happens, I think the reason I brought up we're not conscious of how it's negatively impacting us is an invitation for you to consider that. Like just to start being aware of what your perpetual emotional state is. Is it just blah? Is it more negative? Is it overwhelm? Is it all of those things, that aren't the higher vibration type of emotions? And then choosing to, on your own, not having someone tell you, but on your own, say, you know what, I'm going to make this decision for myself that I no longer want to feel this way. I no longer want to attract this. I don't want to be stuck anymore. So I now see the value of finding something around here to be grateful for. And it can be hard, and your ego is going to fight you on it. It's going to tell you, don't. These are so many great questions. And I have to stop reading them. If I read them in the middle of a sentence, I get derailed every single time because I get into a flow, right? And then I get into my head to read and the flow is broken. So wherever that was coming from. Yes, so say to notice when you're not in that and then say, all right, so if you're feeling bad, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're surrounded by negativity, it takes a little discipline, but you start looking for things that you are grateful for. And so what I'd like to do right now is have you look around, and I'm not talking about the big things. Like, of course, I'm grateful for Lynn. I'm grateful for Cody. I'm grateful for where I live. I'm grateful for my career. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for you guys. Take it easy. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Akubori. I feel like I butcher these names, don't you? I mean, it's like sometimes these usernames are just the series of numbers and letters, and you're trying to make a word out of them, and they aren't wordable. And so you end up calling somebody weird. But to look around right now and just find the smallest thing that you are actually grateful for if you really tune in. Like I'm really grateful for... I am grateful for my custom That Was Easy button. I'm grateful for it because it gives me a fun feeling. It's light. I can make it say anything I want, right? I'm really grateful for the wine aerator, the Venturi. It makes my wine taste way better, you know? I'm grateful for this remote control because I don't have to get up and go touch a button that doesn't even exist on TVs anymore. You got to have a remote. The carpet, you know, those chairs, things that make my life a little bit better. Grateful for this ice cold lemonade. Awesome. What else? I want to hear from some of you guys. Oh, I'm so bummed. I'm grateful for wine too, babe. Old friends. Excellent. Yes. What else? What else are you guys grateful for that, you know, these are things that you can be thinking about next time you get knocked off track. You go, but at least I got this air conditioner. Darn right. We don't have that here because we live in the marina. They don't build these places with air conditioner, and boy, could we use it this year. Yes. So, and there's so much. I mean, it's like I couldn't possibly. If you get really present, which we talked about last week on our LA scope, you're surrounded by things to be grateful for. I'm grateful that you can listen to my scope at work too. I'm grateful that I am sitting where I work on my couch. I mean, talk about something to be grateful for. Like, I got no reason to complain about anything. I work at home. So shut up, Bob. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the perspective. But when we get into our stuff, that's all there is. All perspective gets gone, right? I mean, and I think that's really kind of how we're sort of built. I think that's kind of how our brain, it's something about survival. Like, I'm going to put all my attention on this. You know, you draw all your resources to handle this. I think that's kind of how we're built. But I also think that we can be a lot better and more intentional about, you know, shifting into a state of gratitude on a regular basis. Beautiful summer breeze. Boy, me too, especially this week. Boy, grateful. Couldn't even narrow it down for a comment. I know, it's really hard. Yes, we don't have to get hooked into it. Yeah, it's, you know, and that's the thing. It's, but like Lynn was saying, I want to address what Lynn said before. Like I was saying, when people, yoga, absolutely. When and obviously we're talking about Lynn here. Like if I'm in my stuff and Lynn says, give me 3 things to be grateful for, my ego it just jumps up into defense mode, right? And it feels like, just let me feel how I'm feeling, blah, 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 blah. Whereas Lynn appreciates the reflection back. Like if she's in her stuff or whatever, and if I were to say, what are you grateful for? Give me 3 grateful. She would actually love that. She would actually love that and appreciate that and enjoys the reflection back. So, I mean, there's no one way that people are. But I think it is kind of important sometimes. Oh, really? Oh, that's great. Thanks, Minx Diva. It must be Gratitude Day. Did you know that, what was it, yesterday or the day before was National Dog Day? Nobody told me. I would have been doing nothing but scoping Cody. We would have had a marathon. Walking around and going to the dog park. National Dog Day. How does Bob Doyle miss National Dog Day? Wow. I just don't know how that happened. Anyway. Welcome back, Ty Tyler. Yeah, well, everybody got kicked off earlier because I shut down the scope abruptly because I got a call from my son, and it's been a while since we connected, and I absolutely had to take it. So dogs are a true gift. Talk about things I'm grateful for, man. Like Cody and I went to the dog park yesterday, down just this one in our neighborhood. Another thing to be grateful for, that we can just walk our dog just a little bit down the road, and he gets to play and delight with other dogs and just have an awesome time, and we get to experience that and watch that. Just so much to be grateful for. But if you've got those, today is National Cody Day. I hereby declare today National Cody Day. I will be posting a picture on my Facebook timeline of Cody, and I'll expect all of you to share the love with all of your followers. National Cody Day. Every day is National Bob and Lynn Day for Cody. Well, that's true. Is it National Bob and Lynn Day today, Cody? He's like, yeah, whatever. He's sleepy. He's not liking this heat. So he's actually a warm dog, but he is a very cool dog. But he's awesome. And he has been very logy in the heat, but boy, we got him at the dog park, and he's like, phew. Oh, Ty, man, you are so welcome. I hope that people followed you and that they start checking out your scopes. Lynn, have you ever gone to a Ty Tyler scope? Because I never had until yesterday. And wow, it's just a great energetic space to be. you know. So, and there's tons of these people on here. Like everyone who comes to a scope like this and contributes, you probably want to follow because we're probably very like-minded. So you know how to follow people. You tap them and then you click follow. You know, I hardly ever tell people how to give instructions because, again, I keep forgetting that there are people who are new and really don't know the drills. But in any case, so gratitude. So when you're finding yourself, and this truly, this message is so much for me as it is for anybody else on the planet. When you're finding yourself going down this, just feeling like stuck or blah or bad or whatever, as much as your ego is going to scream that you don't have time for this gratitude stuff right now, or you'll do it later, or yeah, I'm grateful for the dog, that kind of stuff. Like really give yourself 5 minutes, just at least 5 minutes. It doesn't seem like a long time, but to sit in gratitude, like real gratitude for 5 minutes, that's going to change your day. You know, it could change the whole trajectory of your day if you let it. And the more habitual you get about it, you know, the more you're going to rewire your brain. Your ego is going to evolve a little bit too. So there is hope. So let's make a pact, shall we? All of us together. That today... yes, EFT can help people feel grateful because a lot of times it's resistance that's preventing us from feeling grateful sometimes. And so if we can eliminate the resistance with EFT or whatever, then, you know, then absolutely can help. So let's make a goal, let's make a pact today that when we feel that way, the way that isn't like delightful and inspiring, that we take the 5 minutes, if at all possible, 5 minutes, and really bask in gratitude for whatever. Just whatever. And also know that for some of us, the ego is going to scream, we do not have this, don't stop that, this is the way, that kind of stuff. And just say, of course you're going to say that. That's its job, and it's not serving you. There's zero benefit to not feeling grateful. Zero. And 100% benefit for feeling grateful, right? And so look, if 5 minutes is too long for you, start with 1, whatever. Just do it and see what happens. See if you can habitually start to do that in the moment. I mean, I love the idea of every night, you know, having sort of a ritual of writing in a gratitude journal. I know far more people who talk about doing that than who actually do it. And the idea anyway is to be able to do it in the moment, to make this a way of life, not a habitual thing that you do every night at this time, but to literally go through, you're going to do 6. That's great. Autumn gets extra credit for doing 6 minutes rather than 5. But for it to be a way of being so that you can actually catch yourself more often not feeling grateful, you know, and then shifting into it and see how that changes your life after a week or so. It's an experiment I'm going to try and take on. And so we can check in with each other on these scopes. How are we doing with the gratitude? How are we doing with the gratitude? And we'll see how we're doing. And we could say 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 0 minutes, I'm struggling, whatever. It's just something we can do. All right. Well, it's been my pleasure. And thank you again for coming back after I abruptly ended it. And thanks for being so understanding about that. But it was just completely unavoidable. And it was a wonderful thing. And it's made my whole day, like I get to coast my whole day in this amazing state of gratitude because of the call that interrupted my first attempt at this scope. So that's how it works. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. I will be back for the LOA scope again on Monday at 10 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. right here on Periscope. And I might be blabbing here and there about various things over the course of the weekend as well. So you all enjoy your day, and we will talk very, very soon.